Hey guys, how's it going? I just thought, oh, let me let me turn this waves down. This is very what do you call it? Over the top. So I just started using OBS, and I mean I've used it before, but I'm actually using it now to shoot YouTube content. And so I just wanted to add, you know, a couple GIFs, a couple of like little flourishes going on over. I don't know which way to point. Anyways, I just thought I would watch Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. And everybody and their mom's dog right now is getting on this grift train. So I thought that I would as well. Now's the perfect time. Mainstream taste. I would say I'm not so much a normie. I lean towards slightly not normie. But still, like, within that realm. I do like fantasy and sci-fi. And no, you know, I'm not a normie. You know why? Because I don't watch TV shows, like, period. I think the last TV show I watched was, all the way through anyway, Dead Like Me. Does anybody remember that? I really liked that one. That was a pretty good show about this girl who was dead or died in like the first episode or whatever and turned into a Grim Reaper. And then there's other Grim Reapers that she interacts with, and she has to go and take people's lives or help them to the afterlife or whatever. I should rewatch that and shoot some videos on it because I actually enjoyed it. But that was like, I don't know how many decades ago, like probably 20 years ago. I don't know. And then maybe Furry Curry, the anime, was probably the last. Let me just make sure I'm not peeking here. Was probably like one of the last TV shows I watched all the way through. But in terms of like knowing lore and like getting too into a particular subject, I don't really do that much. So like Lord of the Rings, for example, I watched the Peter Jackson movies, of course, and then I did not watch The Hobbit. I have watched the Peter Jackson trilogy, of course. I recently rewatched it, and it was amazing. And then other than that, I did read the books, but back in the day, and I don't remember anything from the books, like absolutely nothing. I'm still setting everything up for this shooting that I'm going to be doing. It's going to be like live stream style. An actual live stream. So I haven't gone into like Lord of the Rings that much in terms of like learning all the lore and learning like everything about it. So really all I know is from the Peter Jackson movies, basically. I don't even remember all their names. So that's basically my knowledge of Lord of the Rings. And so I'm going to go into watching Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, basically being somewhat of a normie in terms of that, but leaning towards, I am a fantasy and sci-fi enthusiast. I especially love sci-fi movies and TV shows. So that's kind of how I'm going to go into this. I kind of default to just like not liking TV shows in general. So if this one's not amazing, then I'll probably just end up being kind of like whatever, like I don't really care about it. Obviously, I've watched a lot of reviews already about Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. And so I have a general idea that a lot of people don't like it. And some people do, of course, but there's I know that it doesn't follow the lore and everything. So we'll see. I'm going to be going at it from an angle of like, I don't know the lore that much. So except for what I've seen on other YouTube videos. I have a business account, Business Prime, which does not include Prime Video. So here's the beginning right here. La, la. Little kids running around. So cute. Bunch of white supremacist kids.
It's going to sail.
It's not going to float. It's going to sail.
I told you it wouldn't float.
What a punk. Yeah. Take him down. Oh, why don't you punch him? I would have punched him. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing to say. A ship sees up or whatever. Doesn't make any sense. So she's trying to figure out the meaning of like good and bad or something here. Sometimes you don't know which way is up and which way is down. How do you know? A rock sees downward and a ship sees up. I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to be like alluding to other than like good and bad. It's like a weird simplistic way of explaining, you know, some things are bad and some things are good. Why don't you just say that? But instead of being all like, ooh, allegorical. He's using examples and allegory to like, instead of just saying like good and bad, pick good. How am I to know what's good and bad? Is what she's saying. Is he giving the secret of the universe here? Like, why did he whisper it? There's no one else around. Wait, what? Was the birds gonna hear what he said? It must have been like so important. She just said we have no words for death, but she just used the word death. I could tell I'm gonna be laughing at this show throughout, not because it's a comedy, but because a lot of things that just don't make sense are like what does that mean? Like, we have no word for death. Death? Okay, that's funny. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like this show for sure. I just can't get over that. we hold on. We had no words for death, except for death. This is like the Mormon Tabernacle choir scene here. Okay, so Morgoth just when he destroyed the tree light, they resisted. While he was destroying it, they didn't resist before. I don't know.
Valinor.
Valinor. Oh no, not one of the birds. They're all dead. I guess she just came after the battle was over to pile up the helmets. All right.
In the end.
I'm not going to spend too much time on the things that everybody's already talked about a million times. But yeah, the symbol obviously is you turn it sideways and it's Mordor. Like, it's very obvious. How can you spend centuries like searching for something? That's just a lot of time. Okay. That is so much time. And like, also at this point I'm thinking this earlier in the show, I'm thinking what her motivation is for like searching for Sauron. And so far all it is I've gotten two motivations for her. One is she was bullied a little bit, barely, like when she was a kid. Someone like ruined her boat. I don't know why they showed that. Maybe that's why she's like has such a bad attitude. And then the other thing is her motivation is that her brother died. And so she wants to take up his mantle or whatever. But how can you have like revenge, or you want to avenge someone for that long? Isn't there another way up this hill? Really motivated. Like, why is she so far ahead of everyone else? Is it because A, she's a lot more physically stronger than everyone else? Or B, is she just like that much more motivated to get up this mountain than everyone else? Like, why is she so motivated? Well, it's because her brother died. I don't know. These other elves, like a lot of their friends and family probably died, I'm sure. So why is she like, they establish that she has a motivation. It's just not that strong. I don't believe that it's a strong enough motivation for her to want to hunt down Sauron for centuries, and still after like what 200 centuries or 2 centuries, however many hundreds of years it is now, she's still extremely motivated, more so than anyone else, to hunt Sauron. Yeah, the reason is like her brother died, but why is she so much more motivated than anyone else, right? And that doesn't really answer the question. It's a song, is it not? When sunlight fears to tread. I swear that's a song. That's like a hard, like a metal song. Oh yeah, disclosure. It's not metal.
This place is so evil, our torches give off no warmth.
What? How can she be certain? How does she know this information? So all I know about Galadriel is the question. The confusion here is: do we look at this show and go compare it to the Lord of the Rings trilogy from Peter Jackson, from the books, and go, okay, they're drawing from that? Or do we go, this is entirely new and nothing's drawn from the movies and the books? Because when she says, how does she know all this stuff? That's my question too. How does she know all this? Is she magical like in the books and well, I don't know the books too well. I don't remember those. But in the movies, which are based heavily off the books, or what? So I'm assuming she's probably got some sort of magical abilities, but I don't know where she got that information. Like, why? You know, I guess it's because of all the years, centuries of looking for Morgoth. She probably researched it somewhere, but I don't really. They haven't explained it, so that's kind of a problem. Like, you wanna you want to kind of explain these things and be like, this is how Galadriel knows this information, you know, not necessarily explain it, but like show how she learned it. Like, oh, show her a scene of her reading books, and for years I searched tomes in various libraries and learned that fire isn't hot when it's near, when evil has been present, you know, or something like that, you know. And also that's just kind of weird. But the fire isn't hot because of evil. People also had a problem with her punching through that rock or the ice wall, and she's wearing gauntlets, so like you could punch things with gauntlets, metal gauntlets. There's probably, you know, if you're doing it right, there's probably padding underneath. So like that looks like was a lot of ice, so maybe it would be harder than that, unless it was thin ice. So I don't know. I think it's fine. If it was thick ice, and maybe like thick ice would be harder to punch through. But maybe we'll just say it's thin ice, all right?
Bring it down.
Right. Why don't you bring it down? You just punch through the ice. Oh my gosh. This is gonna be a good show. What was that Manhattan? Not the Manhattan Project, but what was it? The Brooklyn Project? Philadelphia Project. If you don't know about that, look that up. It's creepy. This is the Philadelphia experiment right here with the orcs. How does she know how to do that? Like that. The main problem I have with the what do you call it? What people are saying in this show is half the time so far I don't exactly know what they're saying. Like, what does she just say? Even stone can't quench the hand of Sauron? What? What does that mean?
Even stone cannot hide the mark of one whose very hand is flame unquenched.
That was the most confusing way to say that sentence. Hold on, I'm gonna write this down. What the? Is that what she said? Okay, hold on. Even stone cannot hide the mark upon whose very hand his flame unquenched. Is unquenched a word? Is unquenched a word? Is that what she said? Okay. What does that mean? Even stone cannot hide the mark. So the mark is so strong and burly that even stone cannot hide it. So let me type this sentence in a way that makes sense. Stone cannot hide Sauron's mark. But that still doesn't make sense, because why are we talking about stone hiding Sauron's mark? I spelled Sauron wrong. Like, why would it hide Sauron's mark? Stone. You know what? Let's move on. I'm never going to figure that one out.
This mark was left as a trail for orcs to follow.
She must follow. So apparently Sauron is leaving marks that you're supposed to follow to get to where you need to go. But it's taken her centuries to follow, and so far she's only seen 2. So wait. The last one she saw was on her brother, right? The last time she saw this mark was on her brother, so somehow she learned that these marks are a trail, and it takes 200 years to find the next mark because the first one was on her brother, and she's been at it for centuries and has only been able to find the second mark. This is not a very good trail that Sauron left. This is a very poor trail. If Sauron's trying to get people to follow this trail, like breadcrumbs or like a map where like a treasure map where you have like different what do you call them, like a tree and like a rock that's shaped like a banana, and then you're supposed to go to the tree and then the banana, and then the next one you finally found the treasure. Like, this is not a good treasure map. Like, how do you know where the next mark is? It takes you 200 years to find the next mark. How are these orcs gonna get to where they're supposed to go? That's hilarious. This is a good show. I really like this. I really like this show. Okay.
We must follow it.
Where's it pointing? It could be pointing the opposite direction. For all she knows, it could be pointing that way instead of that way. All right, well, she's following it. Whatever.
Whoever left it could be long dead.
Sauron? Sauron left it. Yeah, he could be dead. That torch is pretty cool looking. It looks like a rose. Look at that. That's kind of nice. Like, I would want... That's a really cool idea to have, like, a torch in the shape of a rose. I bet you could, like, sell those. That's kind of cool. I like that. I don't know what her... Why. I know what her motivations are. I don't know why they're so strong compared to everyone else. So, like, that's something they have not done a good job with this show of telling me why is she so motivated. Brother died. Stab, twist, and gut. All right, yeah, there's nothing that needs to be said here. Everybody said what needed to be said. That was pretty... I don't know. Stab, twist, and gut. Yeah, she's really good compared to... But again, why? Why is she so good compared to everyone else? Because she's Galadriel, but why? Did she do a lot of fight training and no one else did? Why was she able to defeat it so easily when everyone else couldn't? Tell me why. Tell me why. Show me that she went through extensive training where everyone else spent 2 hours a day training. She spent 7. Is that why? It's gonna kill her. But they're gonna leave without their swords. The power of the Lord of the Rings. It's kind of fun and cool and stuff, but there's just not enough information. It was kind of a cool, like, I actually thought that was a cool in the trailer. Like, it was kind of cool. Like, it's something I've never seen before. Like, people carrying around moose antlers. They must be moose hunters, or I thought at first that they wore them for like decoration or something. I was like, what are these weird moose people? Ooh, that's dumb. This camouflage is not good enough for them not to be seen. Like, this is a whole village in the middle of wherever they are. I mean, yeah, it'll help a little bit, but like, it's not good. If someone's walking by, they're gonna see that, oh, this looks like there's like structures around here and stuff, and like the ground has been walked on, and you know, there's wheels on this rock or on this bush. So I don't know. I guess they're going for, yeah, they're hiding, but I don't think this is enough to hide them. And they just hide everything, like the whole city, when someone's walking by. Why? Why would you do that? Just say hi to them. Hi, what's up? Just walking by. Out. Great. Got anything we can trade? So that was some kind of like diary that he keeps. And Traveler. Okay, so all right. So like they're recording like when people come and when people don't come, and he's like, oh, it's the wrong time for hunters to be around here, or travelers, whatever.
That's it. Has to be the reason.
I don't like how he acts. Like, has to be the reason. Everybody just so far everyone, these Harfoots, they just seem like people like in real life. The elves, they just seem like people who roll their R's a lot. But the acting, I'm not seeing how like the elves don't look super unique. Like, Galadriel's really short. They don't look like that great of elves. They look like handsome people. All the sound effects, like little when they go into the mouth. It's so gross. Ew. When they're picking them, they make the sound effects they use are like, and then when they go into their mouths, it's like.
It's a dog. You know how dogs love berries.
Actually, dogs do love berries. Why is she so gross? Why are they so dirty?
Come on, first one back.
Yeah, this is like, everybody said something about how dirty they are. It's gross. He looks kind of goofy, not gonna lie.
Here.
He looks like weird. He's not an elf lord. He can't go to the meeting. There's so much like blue and gold in this whole show. There's just a lot for some reason, like everywhere. Galadriel. Why is she being so rude? Like, all he wanted to do was like hear about her journeys, and then she was like, I demand to request an audience. Okay. And then he was like, well, actually, you weren't gonna go to this thing, whatever it was, but he decided to let you go anyway because you were not abiding by his rules. So he was like, normally I wouldn't let you go because you disobeyed me, but I'm going to, because I'm going to give you some leeway because you like accomplished so many things, whatever the things are they haven't shown us. And she's still like, Whatever, I demand to request an audience with the king.
Dirty, filthy hobbits.
This is kind of boring. This part, like, this whole idea of I've seen it so many times in other movies and shows where it's like, oh, why do you want to do this or that? What we're doing now is just safe, and just let's just do what we're doing now. Why would you want to go do that other thing? It's also a little too, like, they haven't shown, like, this girl, Nori, whatever, like, why, like, she's adventurous. They just told us right immediately, like, I want to wander. But, like, they could have shown her, like, going out and, like, wandering. Like, I thought they were just, like, picking berries in the wilderness, but apparently they were, like, in someone's farm. But what does that have to do with, like, her wanting to wander? And then all she says is like, haven't you ever wondered what's over there? I want to wander. Okay. Like, show us her escaping a few times and, like, going off. And then she gets in trouble out because she's out in the wilderness where they haven't explored yet. That would make more sense. And then be like, this is the 4th time you've wandered out there. What is up with you? And she's like, well, I'm just an adventurous person. That would be better. But still, that's not that great. That's like, I feel like I've seen that a million times before.
We're supposed to be round.
He just said, that's the problem. The wheel is supposed to be round.
That's the problem. You see, we're supposed to be round.
That's the problem. The wheel is supposed to be round. That's your problem. Oh my gosh. That's like if someone looked at your car is not working, right? And so you have like a mechanic come to look at the engine. And he's like, well, there's your problem. It's missing an engine. I don't know. That was dumb. Maybe they try to make that a funny thing. Or they're supposed to be funny. So I'm just wondering, like, I haven't heard anyone talk about this, but are these hobbits, whatever they are they scroungers or whatever? Do they go off into the wilderness and find berries to eat and snails? Because, like, that's extremely hard to survive off of just, like, picking herbs and stuff. You can't, it's very, like, you have to, like, constantly be picking different plants and foods and berries and whatnot to be able to survive. So I don't know if they hunt or not. They haven't shown that yet.
Washing away the last remnants of our enemy like a spring.
What a bitch.
But
What?
These soldiers have swept across.
So Galadriel here is looking at the other guy. What's his name? Elrond. And he's mouthing.
Washing away the last remnants.
Yeah, he's mouthing.
Of our enemy.
And then
like
she laughs. What the? She is such a bitch. I can't believe that. That is so. Oh my gosh, that is so. So he wrote the speech that he's saying, apparently. And he's mouthing it, and he's like, wow, I wrote this speech. And he's like very happy about the speech. He's very like proud of it. And she just laughs, and she's like, wow, what an idiot. She's such a bitch. I don't like that costume looks like crap. It looks like I went to the Hobby Lobby and got some gold, like, polyester whatever and sewed it up. It doesn't look good, man. All the reviews I've watched of this show, they're always talking about how insufferable she is. She's like an insufferable bitch, but I just took their word for it. But because I only see like little clips here and there, but when you actually watch the full hour, I'm only like halfway. You get all the times when she's like, here she was staring at his eyes and being like, I would not bend down. She didn't say that, but she was like squaring him off, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, she laughs at Ellen, whatever his name is, mouthing his speech, and then she like, man, she is such an asshole. And again, why? Like, they haven't explained why this is supposed to be her weakness or her persona, or how she is. Her personality is that she's just a bitch, I guess. But they haven't again shown why she's this way. I guess that they think that just showing that she got bullied, and then, or I guess you could call it bullied, they sank her ship. I don't know. I've done things like that with my sister when I was younger. She had Barbies and I pulled their heads off. So that was like the same thing. She didn't turn into like this horrible person because of that. And then the other motivation supposedly is that her brother died, and so she wanted to take up his mantle for some reason. They haven't explained why she wants to take up his mantle. But so because of those two reasons, I guess she's this much of an asshole. Okay, so these soldiers have been so good at like soldiering, trying to find Sauron or whatever, and finally they decided Sauron's gone. And so, but they've done such a good job that they're sending them to Valinor, the king. I guess this is the king. And Valinor is somewhere west. I don't exactly know where they are. I don't know if they're on Middle Earth right now or what. I'm guessing they are somewhere in the tree area of Middle Earth. What is Valinor anyway? I mean, I kind of know what it is based off of other stuff I've watched. They haven't really explained what it is. Did she just get the realization that, oh, I'm going to Valinor? Well, I don't want to do that. They get buried in trees, I guess.
Are you just going to stand there breathing like an orc?
Oh my gosh. See, this is like I had a roommate, which Katie, she's really cool. But we talk to each other like that for fun. Like we like talk horribly we were assholes to each other, but we knew we were assholes to each other, so it was fun. So we would talk like that to each other, and it was fun. But here, like,
it is said the wine of
it's already been established that she's really bitchy, so like it's not that fun.
I do not.
Okay, so there's one of the first infamous lines, something about fermentation. That's the second crazy, but that one's more, I can understand that one more versus the first one, which was, even stone cannot hide the mark upon whose very hand his flame unquenched, I guess is what she said. This one is more easy to understand. It is said, the wine of victory is sweetest for those in whose, I have to breathe halfway through the sentence, it's so long, in whose bitter trials it is fermented. Who the frick wrote that? Okay, so here's an easier way to say that. All right, so all I had to do for it to make more sense is to kind of reverse the last part of the sentence. So instead of saying, it is said the wine of victory is sweetest for those in whose bitter trials it is fermented, which is just garble, and you have to like pause it and rewind it to understand what it says. Instead, say, it is said the wine of victory is sweetest when fermented in bitter trials. Okay, so even that's better. I understand it a lot better than the other one. But it's still too long and wordy, but whatever, if you want to make it flourishy sounding, well, okay. Okay, so she says her brother's task is now hers. For some reason, we still don't know why. Why did she take up that task? We still don't have a good idea of what her motivation is. We should know by now. We should know within the first 10 minutes of the show, 20 minutes of the first episode, what the main character's motivations are, halfway through the show at least. I could probably go through other TV shows or movies, and at the beginning of the movie, you want to show the characters. You want to show you who the characters are. You want to show what they're like, what their personalities are like and everything, and you want to show what their motivations are and what the main antagonist and protagonists are and what their motivations are. So, and you want to show that kind of at the beginning so that you know what's going on in the show. All right, so like I kind of know what's going on. Like she's about to go to Valinor. There's not like a strong plot yet though. It's just like she's mad. She's an asshole because she got bullied for like weak reasons. And now she's trying to hunt Sauron, but he's not really a threat because everybody else thinks he's not around. Only she does. We haven't seen him, so we don't know what the threat is. Like he's not a threat because we haven't seen the threat. We haven't seen, he's still out there killing people. So we don't really know. It doesn't have a strong plot other than a weak plot, which is she's motivated to continue finding Sauron. That's kind of the plot right now.
Conflicted.
So Elrond wasn't at the war, I guess. What did she see that he didn't see? Like, I don't know. They're not showing us what she's seen that makes her so motivated to go find Sauron where he's not. Was that guilt? Did I just see some guilt? He was saying Elrond. Is that his name? Elrond? Whatever. I'll write down all the names and remember them. He was just saying, how many more elves are you going to take to faraway lands so they can die trying to find this Sauron? And she looked like she had a little guilt there.
May never.
So already we see a little bit of like she's cracks in her assholery. We see the ass crack.
Come again.
People have family members die all the time. It's sad, but sure, I guess it breaks you a little bit, but like you go on with your life. What was so special about her brother is the question. Do they have like they didn't they only showed like one little clip of her and her brother talking. So from that I'm supposed to derive that they have such a great relationship that she misses him so much that she has to go on this quest of vengeance. Like, you should have shown me 15 minutes of them together going on these little adventures when she was a kid and like all this stuff, so that I could develop feelings for him, you know, not that kind of feeling. Okay, not those kinds of feelings, excuse me.
Rest until
There's
it
another garbled mess of a quote. If but a whisper of a rumor of the what?
You have fought long
What is that
enough,
face?
Galadriel.
If but a whisper of a rumor of the threat you perceive proves true. Yeah, that's redundant. But okay, obviously what he's trying to say here is like, if the smallest, tiniest little thing proves true, that's what he's saying. Like a whisper of a rumor.
My friend.
Wait. So where are we here? I was trying to figure out where they. So they're in Linton. So I guess this is Middle Earth, right? Where were they at the beginning? Were they in the West? And the place. Oh yeah. So at the beginning, when she was a kid, they were in Valinor, right? And then now they're in this other place, Lindor or whatever. And so now they're like, you get to go back to Valinor where you can live forever or whatever. You can heal. And she doesn't want to go. So now that we're going to the Southland. This is the Sigil or whatever. This is Mordor, or what will be Mordor. So far the elves they could just kind of look like they're from like a telenovela. Their hair. I'm not a huge fan of how they look. I think they look more regal and nicer and cool. Like they look like a unique race in the movies, Lord of the Jackson. I'll call them Lord of the Jackson movies from now on. They look like their own unique race. Here they just look kind of like humans that are from like Days of Our Lives. When are you people gonna let the past go? You people? What do you mean? You people? I think that if like, to make the elves more distinguished, make them all have long hair. Make him have long hair. You know, they had long hair in the Peter Jackson movies. It was a really strong thing, strong visual marker that set them apart, is that they all had long hair. Here he just looks like a human with pointy ears, like Spock, you know, like that. It's kind of like the Star Trek effect, like the original Star Trek, where, well, even like later ones, but yeah, Star Trek, all the aliens look like humans but with like prosthetics on their foreheads, or their ears are pointy or whatever, but otherwise they're just humans. But there's actually there is actually an explanation for that, which is like they're all from the same race or whatever, I guess, something like that. So, but here, anyways, the point is make them look more unique. Like this just looks like a human. I would have let him punch him. All right, so apparently she's a healer, because she just said, I traded these seeds with another healer. I don't know what he just said. Something about their healers are like, they don't heal because they heal on their own, so they do other things. I don't know what. These elves are just like goofy humans. They're not elves. That was that scene right there of him like smelling his armpit because what is his name? Arendir, and the other guy's name is Medhor, whatever. He was like, "You smell like rotten leaves," and he's like, "No, I don't." And then he smelled his own armpit. That's like a what was that Curly Moe and Larry moment? The dwarves are supposed to be the comic relief, not the elves. He's just why is he just so stone faced? Like he hasn't smiled or anything, or made any other face other than concerned. All right, so they're disbanded by the king because the war is over. Sauron has been defeated. They have not seen him for centuries. He's wearing contact lenses. You can tell on the anyways, whatever. All right, so this is kind of slow right now, but they're basically saying they're watching over these people or these lands, and they have been for 79 years or whatever, because they are people who are like on Morgoth's side or whatever. So that's kind of all I understand from this, is they're keeping a watch over these people, maybe because they think that they're going to, I don't know yet, really, not really sure. That I think is calendula, that flower. So that must be their son. They were saying before, never has a person been, there's never been like a baby that survived from an elf and a human, I believe. So maybe he survived. So he's a half elf, maybe the first half elf, half human. I've come to bang you. Why does he look so mad all the time? All right, so if a cow had this much whatever that stuff is, wouldn't they be dead? Like that's a lot of muck coming out of this cow. Like that doesn't that, I mean, I don't know, I would think. So is that sword like also like the ring from Lord of the Rings? Because it like when he, you know how when Frodo puts the ring on, it like gets all fiery and you can see the eye and it's like, and here it kind of did the same thing. So is this like the equivalent of the ring, but it's a sword? And whoever like holds the sword, the broken sword, is like Sauron is talking to them. They're going west of their home, which was like on the coast of Middle Earth, I think. She's not making any face at all. She's just like, why is she not happy? Just be happy. It's true. This show is a little boring. It's like yawn inducing. I'm not like excited. At the beginning, I was. The beginning was like excitement. You know, there was things going on. They were fighting and climbing ice walls and stuff. But now it's just been for the past, however long, whatever, 30 minutes or whatever, since the beginning part. It's just been like they're just like talking to each other, walking around. Oh, this cow has black stuff coming out of its udder. It should probably be dead, but somehow it's not. They're supposed to go to Valinor, so you know all this. He gave a speech. They're just talking a bunch. Like all the areas they're going to are like really nice looking, but it's just making me yawn.
That seeks to blow out a fire may also.
Why don't you just say it straight instead of like talking in allegory? So he's saying they wanted her to leave, or they're glad she left, because if not, she would have somehow brought Sauron about, because she was searching for him. That doesn't make any sense. Basically, Galadriel's such a bitch that they were like, get rid of her, even though she's right. Yeah, we do think Sauron is here, but we need to get rid of this girl because she's like, she's a little bit annoying. This show is great. Galadriel is so annoying. We need to get rid of her. Yeah, Sauron exists, but we gotta get rid of this girl. So they have some things. So he's High King Gil-galad, right? High King, yeah. And he and Celebrimbor apparently got some kind of thing going on in the background that we don't know about. Like Elrond doesn't know about either. Like they're gonna do something here. They don't know what. We don't know what yet. I mean, I know what yet, but because I've seen the reviews, but they haven't explained it yet. Celebrimbor, his gay lover is here. Why didn't he smell him or like hear him? Stars are watching. Hey, why didn't he smell her? Like the elves can hear from far away, but at least that one time. But then they couldn't. And this guy could smell people walking by, but now he can't smell. Where's the continuity? They've been standing like this the whole time. Like, how long is this trip for? Like, how far? Like, we don't really know how far in the ocean they've gone. But they've just been standing here for months. Like, did they bring food? Questioned: are these assistants or slaves or whatever, elf slaves, that undressed them here? And did they go with them to Valinor? I don't know. Or did they just jump off and take off their clothes? Get on with it. What was the point of going back to where his brother was like, do you know why a rock sinks and a ship floats? What does that have to do with what they're doing right now? I guess she's like trying to figure out in her mind what should she do? Those were his words that were so powerful that they silenced them at the beginning. Sometimes we cannot know which light to follow until we've touched the darkness. Just so meaningful words that they had to hide them until the end of the episode. So this whole episode, wait, is it the end yet? Yeah, it's getting closer. This whole episode, it was like just the reveal of those words, I guess. But I still don't get it. Like, what does that even mean? Sometimes to touch to find the right light to follow, you have to touch the darkness. What does that even mean? Like, you have first to find out what's good in life, you have to experience the bad, I guess is what he's trying to say. The dramatic music, they are right. When I watch these other reviews and they're talking about how dramatic and like epic the music is, but then like they're not doing anything. Like, these guys are just standing here, it's slow motion, and there's like this epic like don 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 music, and it's just like I'm still yawning. That's evil. It roared. That wasn't good. That was bad. The fire in the Valinor. So there, who knows how far into the ocean. When they showed the map, it looked like it was potentially hundreds, maybe thousands of miles out in the ocean. What's her plan? So this is that dark, like muck that was in the cow, and so now the cow muck is all over the tree now. For some reason, I guess it's creeping in on them from the east. This muck that the cow ate, and now is on this tree. But wait. They're like all the way to the west, right? So the muck is also there. It's like everywhere, I guess. This show is so far from episode 1 is kind of like a little bit all over the place. At the beginning, it seemed like it was gonna be cool and exciting, and then after the first, I don't know, 15 minutes or whatever, or 10 minutes even, I just started yawning. Maybe even like first 5 at the beginning. After the beginning, I started yawning and was like, what is going on? It was just like a bunch of walking around, and the elf guy, the girl that he's shagging, they just walked around and talked it. So like they heavily hinted that they were together, and but they didn't kiss or anything. He was like, I don't know why he was so stone faced and like didn't have any emotion. Like he just looked kind of upset the whole time. Galadriel, we've shown that she is an asshole, that she has very little motivation to be an asshole. At least they haven't shown it. Yeah, like, what is her motivation for continuing to find this evil Sauron while everyone else isn't? And like, what makes her so special here? Why is she so good at like fighting a troll? So the major problems so far with episode 1 is not enough information, not enough background with the characters, so I don't understand them. I don't understand their motivations and what they're doing and why, and not enough personality, and not specifically with Galadriel, not enough information, not enough backstory as to why she is the way she is. Why is she such an asshole? Like, people aren't just assholes. There's reasons. I think. Maybe there's no reason. I don't know. So, yeah, I just kind of got, like, I mean, I was yawning. So, that's basically the review. It's kind of yawn-inducing. The beginning was kind of exciting, but then it was like just a lot of nothing. So all these reviews that I've watched of this show so far, where they're saying like nothing happens. Yeah, I see what they're saying now. If this is how it's gonna be, which according to all the reviews I've watched, it is how it's gonna be. There's gonna be a lot of yawning, but anyways, I'm just gonna continue. I'm gonna watch the rest of the series. Oh, here, let me just change this. So I'm gonna watch the rest of the series. I'm gonna try to get caught up. So this week, I think tonight or tomorrow is the latest episode, which is I think is 6. I'm not sure. So, the music's gone. So yeah, probably by like episode 7, I think I'll have all of my videos on. I'll be caught up, and then from there, I don't know what the format of my videos are gonna be, but it'll either be me watching the video and commenting on it as I go, and then cutting it, or I'll just give like a final review after I watch it. I'm not sure yet. We'll figure it out. Thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. Subscribe, all that stuff, etc. I want to know. I wonder how much I've been peaking, because I'll have to like turn down my mic volume. I'm figuring all this stuff as I go. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw. Give me the meat and give it to me raw. Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women. Oh my. Oh my. Sex with men.